one of my favorite techniques with anchors called stealing anchors. Yeah, so I didn't know I was doing this, but when I first heard about this, I was like, oh my God, this works so beautifully. Especially you go for a meeting and it's a new company, and then you have like the chief over there, could be a VP or a manager or a CEO, and you have all the team members. And then you mirror the person who is like the chief, and you notice his tone, the words he uses, his style, his intonation of talking. And, because sometimes it's very easy to sign a deal with the CEO, a nightmare to get the team to follow through. So one of the things that I used to do is, I notice all the anchors of the CEO that the team responds to. Sometimes he speaks in a particular way, and then the team just like gets it done fast. Now, all I have to do is use his anchors. I don't have to set up new anchors with those team members. I just have to use his anchors. I need to use, his style of speaking for that moment, and then the team would respond as if they're responding to him. Isn't that cool? Yeah, so it's called stealing anchors. Now, so because anchors already exist, and if you can notice it, you can utilize it. I heard a story a long time ago about, one of this NLP trainer. He went to meet his friend, and in the morning they woke up for breakfast, and it was a farm, and they had a lot of horses, and that particular morning, someone had left the gate open for the horse, and all the horses had, walked away somewhere. And this guy who went to visit his friend was very concerned, saying, come, let's run. We'll take this rope. You take this rope. We'll bring them one by one and tie it. And the guy who is a farm keeper who's maintaining the horses, he said, don't do all that. And he went to a bell and he rang the bell. And the horses all walked back thinking they're going to be fed. So now, people have anchors, and if you notice them, you can use them. And the easiest and the most basic and fundamental anchors that you can learn to use are their magic words. So magic words are words that when some people say those words, it's like, the most fascinating thing to me about communication is the effect your communication has on yourself. And, it's very interesting. When people talk, they're trying to convey something to someone, but the very process of talking also has an effect on them. So when you notice when someone is talking to you, you can notice that there are certain words that they use that brings about an intensity of emotion in them. And those are their magic words. This is not manipulation. This is you going from assuming to listening. Because a lot of times what happens is the same word on dictionary, has a particular meaning, but it has a different emotional response to you, and it has a different emotional response to the other person. And most times in conversations, what people do is they assume that a particular word that has a particular meaning for them is how another person feels about it. And so people go on explaining the things that they want to do using words that make them feel wonderful. And so that's the assumption. So what you're really doing in magic words is you're dropping that, and the reason it works so beautifully, the reason you could talk about your experience and get a spark in another person's eye is because now you're listening really to what makes that person relate and understand better.